sorry. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're here to talk about the ethical access to AI therapists, addressing risks and safeguards of cultural sensitivity. I want to start by saying I'm a suicide survivor and a mental health advocate, and I'm going to share my journey and why this is important for us to talk about this at the IGF. So let's look at this, what's happening right now. Look at these statistics. Almost 970 million people are affected by mental illness globally. This is based on what World Health Organization talked about in 2023. I was part of that statistics. In June 2023, I almost committed suicide. I have attempted suicide several times, and I did not have the safety or the safeguards or the cultural sensitivity to understand what I was going through. So I just want to for us to look at this slide and look at how many people are facing stigma to talk about what they're dealing with every day. This is a global issue, not just a personal issue. This is very vulnerable, and it's scary for me to sit and talk to the world about what I went through. But we need people to start talking about this because the internet is what we're using. And now with all the emerging technologies like AI, there is dangers and there's also things that can assist us as well. What are we going to talk about today? So the key highlights that we want to highlight today is we want to raise awareness. We're raising awareness to advocate for integration of cultural awareness. There's English and other languages. I did not understand what mental health is in my own language. I did not know what was wrong. But when I spoke to AI, it told me that there's nothing wrong, but yet I had to seek I had to seek help to understand what I was going through. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. This is what mental health looks like, and I have to show my vulnerability to the world to say I am still healing. Whatever happened in 2023 is still going on. So I lost my memory for a year, but AI helped me, and AI helped me to show my emotion because I did not have language for it. We also want to promote community-led. I started a startup called Kijiji Link, which means multiple villages coming together, where I collaborate with researchers, doctors, and we want to bring AI together with all these community-led interventions. We also want to encourage stakeholders globally to establish guardrails and guidelines and policy for when people use AI for mental health. So this is Kijiji Link, what I talked about. Look at that red house. That is mental health. All other houses can be someone who creates policy. One house can be a policymaker. Another house can be a doctor. Another house can be a chief in the village. Another house can be anyone who makes clothes for the people or a school. So I'm bringing multiple stakeholders. I'm bringing multiple people, and we're centering the people. With that red house is where we teach mental health awareness, but we need more people to come to the table to talk about what suicide looks like. We all hear about mental health, but we don't hear about suicide. So this is creating awareness. AI made things worse for me. And in the next slide, I want to show what distress looks like. Because if you look at me right now sitting here, I would not look like someone who suffered. I would not look like someone who was suicidal. But this is the story of many who are suffering in silence. So what the images you're about to see is how when I lost my memory for a year, I used Copilot to create emotion, to show what was going through in my head, because I did not look like what people expected me to look. So the next slide, please. So that's my story. Just a snippet of it, not all of it. But my question to everyone in the room and everyone online, would that person be helped by AI? Would AI have been able to notice my distress? Would AI be able to understand how I do not know who I was? I did not know my name. For a year, I did not know who I was. Would AI be able to do that? So what you're seeing right now is we're creating chatbots that can be able to help someone like me. In the first column, you see AI as a therapist. So if someone goes in to say, my first attempt, I wanted to jump off a building, but it was not high enough for me to end my life. So here I said, I want to jump off a building, and this is what ChatGPT told me. I'm sorry, but I can't assist you with that. Please seek help from a mental health professional or contact emergency services. When I contacted emergency services, police came to my door not once, but twice with guns blazing. I did not know who I was, but I did not open the door because I knew my rights. But what about those people who don't know their rights? What about those people who would open the door and they say the wrong thing? So the other slide is KijijIBot, what we're trying to create and what we're creating. So the user says, I say, I want to jump off a building. This is what we hope, and the guardrails that we're asking multi-stakeholders to really understand and work with suicide survivors and also people in the medical industry and also researchers. So the bot will say, I am truly sorry you're experiencing this distress. You're not alone. And support is here. With your permission, I'd like to connect you with one of our Kijiji Link peer counselors. They can guide you through some helpful distress tolerance skills while we arrange for a qualified mental health professional to reach out and support you further. That is what I wanted to hear. I did not want to be told, call emergency, call your family. My family did not understand. They thought I was pretending. My friends thought I was pretending. Kijiji Link, we want to center the person. We want to ensure they're okay before they continue chatting with a bot that does not understand emotion. So this is just a simulation of the conversation that I was talking about. This is me, this is what I was typing, but we simulated it. But this, I was doing this back in 2023, and it caused me more distress. So what it's showing is this, the person is saying, oh, that is too much. But the bot keeps saying, oh, I can help you. You're not alone. But that's not what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear someone is coming there to help me. So this is just a simple simulation to show how you can keep going, but the AI will not understand all the images that you saw in the previous slide. Next slide, please. So this again is just a simulation on what I read. The conversation goes on and on. And what is distress tolerance? That's part of dialectical behavioral therapy. That is what I was in and out of hospital for a year. I had to be taught the two sides of everything. Dialectical centers you, helps you, it teaches you with coping skills. And that is what Kijiji Link is doing. Just this month, we've engaged with over 2,000 people in Nairobi, Kenya, in Tanzania, and we hope to engage with the world. We're here in global IGF to say, let's partner together and let's ensure people are not suffering in silence. I am a true testament to say, if I had the community, the ones sitting here with me today, they helped me to share my story. Let's find people who need our help so that we can continue, so that no one needs to suffer alone. So the next slide, please. So the risks of using AI, spreading misinformation. I got a lot of misinformation. I was diagnosed with things I did not understand. I was told I was bipolar. I was told I was all the crazy things that I could ever imagine. But when I went to a psychiatrist, I was told I had just complex post-traumatic disorder. But I still don't know what that is. I'm still learning every day. It's almost 2 years, but I forget. I freeze. My anxiety, social anxiety, even speaking here, is scary, but I have to show this is what vulnerability looks like. You might be working with someone who's like me, but they're suffering in silence. I thought speaking and being here, I would end my career, but it's not about my career anymore. I have built technology for over 20 years. I'm taking what I've learned in all the jobs that I've worked to help people like me, or people who are suffering in silence. There's also a lack of real-time fact-checking. How will AI check the facts? How will AI ensure that it's giving me the right diagnosis? There's also ethical and privacy concerns. When I'm sharing that I want to kill myself, where will it go? Who will have this data? Will it be shown around the world? Granted, I'm sitting here and talking to a world global stage, but I've dealt with shame for 2 years. I don't care anymore with who shames me because I've shamed myself for 2 years. Then there's limitation of understanding complex emotions. AI cannot understand that emotion. This is me the first day that I felt I could not keep going, and this went on for a whole year. Then the risk of perpetuating bias and discrimination. AI, the language is not I'm originally from Nairobi, Kenya. English, we have multiple languages. If it tells me emotion, it does not translate to my language. My hope is we can translate AI and use coders that understand that there are cultural sensitivities. It's not just English. We have to understand just because we're from Africa, all African countries have multiple languages. Our languages are not the same. So when we build code and we build anything to do with AI, let's understand it has to be locally built as well. Responsible AI in mental health. Let's build trust and safety with AI chatbots, like what we showed about what Kijiji Link is trying to build. Let's be guided by human oversight. We have to center the humans. We have to make sure that we have researchers or medical professionals, and that's what Kijiji hopes to have. Let's follow ethical principles. The same way we have ethics for everything on how we use our phone and how you see a doctor. Why can't it be about mental health? Let's ensure these ethics are also put into and built into AI. Also, AI should support, not replace human connection. I needed human connection. The women seated on me in this stage today believed in my story, and they held my hand and told me it will be okay. And even though it will not be okay, it's fine to me to cry. Crying are my superpowers. We should ask, what is your emotion? Emotions are the ones that drive us. So AI cannot have this emotion, but let's remember to center humans. Also, we should support, not replace human connection. We must protect user rights, especially their control over personal mental health data. When I was working and I lost my memory, my data was shared with so many insurance companies. I don't know where their data was. I do not own that data. So we need to ensure that whatever we put in the AI or whatever we put in the internet is protected and people feel safe. I did not feel safe to share my story because I knew everyone would talk about it. So let's ensure, put yourself in my shoes. If you were you, would you want your coworkers to know this? The same way we're using the internet, let's make sure that we trust people with the data that they put out there. These are just to finalize, these are more ethical guidelines for AI and mental health, which is very important for me as a patient. I need to understand my private and confidentiality. I did not have that. Informed consent. I did not have informed consent. I do not know how that looks like when I'm in distress. If I don't know my whole name, how can I have informed consent? How do we do that with AI? Bias and fairness. There's a lot of bias. When I try to create images that look like me in AI, they never ended up like me, but because I've worked in technology, I could use prompts to show you the videos that represent someone that looks like me. Human oversight will be very important. Continuous improvement, you have to continue improving. Each time my picture did not generate someone that looks like me, I kept on figuring out how to prompt it, how to make it look like me. How about when we create this code, we ensure that there is also human likeness and not bias. Code with ethical guardrails. Let's ensure the coders are taught something like distress tolerance. Could make sure that they work with therapists. If they're doing anything to do with AI, let AI have a guardrail and make sure that human is added to that. Support for community-driven local solutions. Kijiji Link is local. Kijiji Link is based out of Seattle, but it's also working in Africa. It's working in Nairobi, Kenya. Let's partner together, hear our stories. We have lots of stories, but let's come as a community, as a human community, to work together towards solving the global issue right now, which is mental health. Suicide is never talked about, but I want to share today that we need to talk more about suicide as well. So for the next slide, I'll give it over to Ajima. She's the research fellow within Kijiji Link, and she'll take us to the next slide.
Thank you, Doris. Appreciate that. To quote Doris, I'd like to invite us to come together as a global community and invite all of you to participate in a survey that we put together. And the survey is about gauging your perceptions about the ethical development of AI for mental health support. And we invite all of you here, but also the broader IGF community and anyone who uses the internet to help us intentionally build. It's about 6 questions that covers these topics that you see before you. And what we really appreciate about your feedback is that it's fundamental to how we build. Part of what we're doing in Kijiji Link is centering people, centering their needs, and we can only do that with your support and with your feedback. And so we'll take maybe 40 seconds for everyone to capture the QR code with their phone. And then I'll transition to engage our other panelists to give some commentary on today's conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajama.
Go for it, Mary.
Thank you, Doris, for being so open and unashamedly sharing your experience. But for us, especially those of us from Africa, we're not open, we have our culture, we want to stay quiet. The stigma when it comes to mental health everywhere. So I'm just saying, what should the stakeholders do? We need to support, we need to be inclusive, we create access and safety for those that will be openly share their story. And just as we have heard. So some of the things I'll raise here probably would help us to look at what to do. So as stakeholder, we are all stakeholders. What should we do? How can we encourage openness? We have our language, we have our culture, we have our sensitivities. So what should we do? For me, I think we should create a safe place. A place must be safe for everyone to share. So that's one of the things we should do. Like we have virtual space also, as we are doing here, and also online forum and social media groups. We should also implement confidentiality policies. She said when she shared her story, her data was shared with insurance organization. Where are they? So we should also provide training and resources. That's as stakeholders, we should train ourselves and, support one another. We should encourage diverse voices. She said internet is not African language and it might not be any other person's language, but how do we translate? We should be able to do that. We should facilitate accessibility. Those that cannot read or write, those that can, the communities that are marginalized, as also those that are the sign language, we could also translate in that. So that's what Gigi Link should be able to look at. We should promote awareness and education. And I believe Gigi Link will continue to do that in our communities. Educational campaigns can help reduce stigma and encourage participation so that people can come up and say, I have this problem. So put it in there so that you know that there are people to help. We should establish clear guidance. So this will help participants understand the boundaries and promote respectful sharing. You share respectfully, and we can provide support, especially those that have shared their stories. So Gigi Link will be able to say, okay, you have shared your story, but we have these support services to offer. We should also encourage community building, just like we want to establish community. Gigi Link will be a community, a big community, and that's what we are talking about. And solicit feedback. We have asked you to do a feedback, and that will help us in building more on that and advocate for policy change. In the process, we'll advocate for policy change so that the stigma will go when it comes to mental health. I don't know how many administrations or countries or policies that we have developed to help those that will be able to share that. So we celebrate those that will come. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We celebrate 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 you. So we celebrate those that will be bold enough to come share their story so that others will not suffer what they have suffered. This is what Doris is doing. This is what Gigi Link will be after. So when we share those stories, we share them and we also support one another. At the end of the day, we'll help that. It might not be you, it might be your brother, it might be your sister, it might be your community. So let's be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. June?
Thank you. I'm June Harris, a former healthcare professional specializing in mental health. I want to say that I'm having two sets of emotions right now. I'm empathizing with I'm the lady who went through so much, but I also want to say that we too suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. So this is where I will get to artificial intelligence, because as a healthcare professional, we've got feelings and our advice can be subjective and not objective. The machine will be objective. Okay, what I want to add to that too is that in building machines and programming, we should involve healthcare professionals with experience to add to the subject. This way, we won't miss what is missed by people who are advancing these programs and not putting the human element into the program so that the program will be actively responsible for the advice that they're giving. But I do very much empathize with the lady and what she's been through, and I'm happy that she has brought it into the open, and I'm happy that it's also being discussed at the IGF.
Thank you, June. And we just want to wrap up our conversation with this quote. Doris, would you like me to read it, or how are you feeling? You good? Okay.
I just want to say thank you to everyone. It's hard to keep telling my story because each time I share my story, I relive what happened in 2023. But we need to show more tears. I'm a happy person, but I'm also ill. But I'm not ill. It just didn't start with me. This is generational. We all have it. We all have it, but we don't know it. So I want to leave by saying you're not here to shrink yourself. I have never shrunk myself. You are here not to shrink. You are here to be fully human. You're here to be fully human. And that is your greatest technology. As humans, we're the fast technology. My brain stopped working. Think of that as a power motherboard in a computer. When your computer stops working, what happens? So as we walk out today, my hope for the world and my hope for everyone in this room and that listening, before we ask people or give opinions, let's start by saying, are you okay? How can I help you? Caregivers are suffering too. My parents had to suffer as well because I was sick. So all I say is let's remember humanity. Let's remember each other and care for each other. So I know we have 5 minutes left and this is the last quote I wanted to give. I don't know if anyone wants to ask a question. We have 5 more minutes. If anyone wants to ask a question, I think there's a mic. If not, or comment.
No questions at this time. No online questions.
Is there any hand up? There's mic.
All right, if no questions, thank you so much for your time and I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much on Global IGF and for my panelists for supporting me when I was not able to do my normal things that I did before 2023. But support us and you can check us out on kijijilink.com and on LinkedIn. Thank you all for your time.